Jordan, welcome on, man. Thanks so much for taking time to jump on to our YouTube channel, man. What's going down?
You bet, you bet. Dude, pumped to be here.
Nick?
Excited to share a little bit.
Yeah, I'm excited what you have to say. This is not scripted at all, so this is pretty raw, man.
On the
Well,
cuff.
there we go. Well, before we get into any piece of content, why don't you just do like a quick intro where you're located, like your services, all that good stuff.
Cool. Yeah, so I'm Jordan Easler. I am the co-founder of Forward Marketing. I'm one of the East Coast babies in the Agency U group. I know there's a few of us representing. But yeah, so basically we started the agency last May of 2023. And what we didn't really know what I was doing at first, a whole bunch of ideas. You kind of walked me through that. But now what we do is we help service-based businesses with their short form content for social media, specifically kind of bridging the gap between really good creative and really good strategy. And we've seen a big gap there of a lot of people being super creative and not really converting very well. And then the flip side is like, hey, you could be really great at marketing, but it looks really garbage. So we come in, bridge a gap, and help companies build their brand.
Oh, love it, man. So you started with us, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago or so?
I believe it was October, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Curious, like what kind of got you interested in agency use specifically? There's a lot of different programs out there, obviously. Like what piqued your interest about agency you?
Yeah. Crazy enough, I seen side story. I was at the beach with my wife having the craziest, like most obnoxious beach trip we've ever had in our life. Like sewer busts, like we get in the Airbnb, sewage busts,
Oh,
pretty awful. Yeah, just like thing after thing. Thought we were gonna get robbed. And I was like, I told her, I said, I just need a break and I just need to go outside and scroll Instagram for a bit. And crazy enough, your ad comes up.
yeah.
And I was at the point where I was fresh off of in the process of selling a recording studio, so very different industry. And the thing about the agency space is I was like totally new. I had no coach. I knew that I had a skill set, but I had no idea how to package it at all. And one of the things that I seen in your ad was just like, hey, like we can piece together a system. You know, we help agency owners build and scale. And it's like, hey, I would much rather learn from someone who's done it versus me like going out here trying to, run into the wall, doing it the hard way for 3 years, and started watching your YouTube content and literally just duplicated everything that you were doing through the course creator stuff. And it just got to the point where I was like, man, this guy's added so much value through YouTube. I wonder, what if it would make sense just to go ahead and pull the trigger and invest in Agency U. And right before I did, I mean, we were probably with us launching in May. I mean, we probably had four months under our belt of like one client. And whenever I went and pitched that client, luckily it was through a mutual friend. So somehow, I don't know if they felt sorry for me or what, but they're like, yeah, we'll pay you for your service. It's like, well, cool. I can do 15 pictures and,
Yeah.
30 videos, and I can also build your YouTube channel. Oh yeah. And I can also build your Instagram. And just, that was my thought process. I was like, man, like I've built a YouTube channel. I've done this, I've done that. But what ended up happening is I honestly didn't even know what I was offering.
Hmm.
And that's where I was. And I was starting to kind of get burnt out, like within 4 months of launching the company. And I said, hey, like I need some type of playbook and someone who's actually done what I'm trying to do to, take me by the hand and walk me through exactly what I need to be doing.
Yeah. So it sounds like it was, okay, I'm starting to work with people and I'm kind of getting in that glorified freelancer mindset where it's like you have all these skill sets and you're a helpful person and you want to add value to people, like naturally as a human. I think most of us want that. And as you were doing that, you caught yourself, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to do this. And then you started to begin to see where that was actually taking you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even with that one client, time was shrinking very fast.
Yeah. And then you realize, okay, like if I'm spending this many hours on this client, then I'm actually working for free most of the time based off of like the logic behind it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was messy for sure.
Yeah. Well, so okay, so that's what got you in. Okay. What tell us about like the impression when you joined, like the process of like you coming in feeling maybe a little bit overwhelmed, confused, like there's a lot of different coaching programs out there. Like what was and you've invested into a lot, it sounds like what were your impressions as you first started going with us doing the one-to-ones and getting you onboarded and helping achieve the result that you came in to achieve?
Yeah, well, I specifically remember our first call. It was me, you, and Gilberto. We all did the call together, and I think that was our first time me and you meeting. And I initially joined, so like I've done a bunch of like Grant Cardone stuff through, done some Brandon Dawson stuff, and like I understand the power of systems and things like that. And I literally had nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I joined, like that was the first thing that I wanted to like learn. I was like, oh, like I've got all these cool skill sets, so like I can grow really fast. I just need like your onboarding system. And like you guys slowed me down very fast. And it's just like, hey, like what's your core offer? And I remember just saying, man, I built a YouTube channel organically. I filmed all these videos. I've done it, for service businesses. I could do email marketing campaigns. And basically what you showed me, you built your agency to, I think within 1 or 2 years and reach a 7-figure mark with Brantegic. And it just got to the point with me. And I was like, dude, if he's already done this and he's already got the results that I wanted, like, what did you offer?
Mm-hmm.
And you literally gave me the exact offer that I'm running now of, hey, like, we'll do a strategy call. We'll do X amount of videos shot. We'll do X amount of videos edited. We'll do X amount of covers. We'll do X amount of video posts. And then we'll also get you the analytic report at the end of the month. And I was like, that is a lot more simple and something we can actually, a play that we can run rather than, trying everything out. And whenever you gave me that, I was just under the impression of like, hey, like he's got the results and he's got the system. Let's just run what Austin runs. And started, I think within our first month of working, we put together a content day, which was a $5,000 package.
Nice. So that was the foundation. Okay, you came in, we started working on the offer, which is what we do with everybody because that's the most important thing. You like are not abnormal coming in saying I can do everything for everyone and that's what I want to do. And then you were like, okay, I realized that I need something that's replicatable, duplicatable, scalable, delegatable, all of that stuff, right? And
Yeah.
then okay, then you have the offer. It's replicatable, profitable, duplicatable, scalable, delegatable, all of the
Yeah.
ables. Then what was like the next like move? Like what like okay, it's one thing to have an offer and like have a vision for systems, but like what came after that?
Yeah. Well, initially, the first thing that comes after that was phone called my co-founder. I was like, dude, let's go sign another client.
Mhm.
Well, you also have to fulfill whatever you sign those clients.
Yeah.
You committed to X amount of videos too. And so what happens next was like a super kind of like halt to the progress.
Yeah.
Because at that point,
Well, how
because
did
our
you get your
initial,
first couple clients? Because like you came in, you had like what, one client when you started
yeah,
with us? Yeah.
one e-commerce client.
Okay. And then it was like, okay, now I have my offer. And then for my for my memory, it was like, okay, cool, let's get this in front of some people and like let's sell this a few times. And
Yeah. Well, you
like
called
what?
me out on a going like the power of the one-on-one and
Uh,
like the power of one, like learning from you. Like one of the things I appreciate about you is, I mean, you didn't do it in like a negative way. Like I don't feel like you came at me, but you were like, hey, like I don't think people know what you're doing. And I was like, you know what? You're 100% right.
mhm.
And literally, like I think you gave me like 30 basically like templated scripts of like, hey, like try these frameworks. Like these are great content frameworks. And literally I did it. And every single post that I started posting, it's funny. I was selling a service of creating content and I wasn't creating content for myself. Funny story, but started posting the content the way that you told me. And like literally people's hit me up like, oh dude, you do marketing now? It's like, I totally need that for my business.
Mm-hmm.
strategy call, bam.
Mm-hmm.
And then like and then I remember messaging you. I'm like, oh shoot, like people are actually booking calls. What do I do? Oh, refer to the Notion dashboard, and like literally the strategy calls laid out, the
Mm-hmm.
sales scripts laid out, and it's like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing. I just know that Austin knows what he's doing, so I'm gonna follow the play that the coach tells me to run, and dude, we started landing clients. Like the
Mm-hmm.
first $5,000 check, like that was probably one of the biggest checks, instant checks that I ever got from like a customer ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked out of the office and I was like, dude, I don't even know what I did. I just did what Austin told me to do. And
Nice.
I've got a $5,000 check in my hand.
Nice.
So that's how we did it. Just organic content. We didn't spend any money on ads. So practicing what we preach, just
Yeah.
kind of building the brand and serving people. And that's how we've been able to go from one client to now we've got right at 7.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah. And I think it's like for a client acquisition, it's like we could have done the ads, we could have done the outbound, but I think from the one-to-ones, it was like, okay, cool. Low hanging fruit is you just need to start posting on social a couple of times and start building momentum. Because with the creative agency, you know that it's not like you can onboard 10 clients a week and be like, just like, okay, like
Yeah.
that's going to be overwhelming. Which will get us into our next point of like, okay, you started getting these clients, then what kind of came from it? Because that's just one piece of the pie, right? Like the offer is one piece of the pie, the client acquisition is one piece of the pie. It's like in my eyes, it's like to build a business, it's the full circle, right? Like you gotta be able to have the offer, have the pricing, like have the sales, have the fulfillment, all of that stuff. And then on the back end, being actually to fulfill it. So tell us a little bit about how that went, because there's only so many hours in your day.
Yeah. That was, dude, that hung me up for like 2 months. This, what I'm about to talk about. And luckily you walked me through it. Very, our one-on-ones. And I mean, our initial content day package was we are going to be doing 40 videos. And at that point, it was me. Like I was still doing sales calls. Like, and it made sense, with where we are in the company, but it's like, there's no way I can scale this, like doing this much longer. So we signed that client. So we instantly went from 12 videos per month to like 30 or 40 videos per month. I can't remember how many we shot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at that point, it's like, hey, like I can't do all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you were like, hey, man, well, I think the next step for you, which was really key because, like, in my mind, I don't know if an editor was necessarily my first step because I thought it was going to be so hard to find one that, like, I could duplicate
Mm-hmm.
my creative style. And that's whenever you came out with the talent acquisition funnel.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey, run this play and it should, spit out an editor. And like literally to a T, we went to onlinejobs.ph, copied and pasted agency use, like job. It's so bad because it's like, I don't even have to be good. All I got to
Yeah.
do is,
Run the
do
play.
what you're telling me to do. And then it works. But I literally copied and pasted. I didn't even like tweak anything. I even think that Brand Tegic was still in there. Come like
Nice.
something about working with Brand Tegic. And I had when people were on the call, it's like, oh, actually we're forward.
Yeah.
But did that, did the job post. And then from there, just kind of went through the exact funnel. I don't know if you want me to walk through the steps of that, but it got me about 205 applicants, narrowed it down to about 30 after like step 2 of the talent acquisition funnel. We jumped on a call with 5, narrowed it down to 3 with like a trial run. And then after the trial run, literally the exact play that you told me to play, it spits out our editor who
Mm-hmm.
is like crushing it right now. And I
Yeah.
had no idea how to hire overseas. And it was like, it's definitely work. Like there's definitely training, like just like if you hire anybody onshore, like there's
Yeah.
training. You obviously can't just hire them and say, good luck, hope this works. You gave us all the tools to do all the training, to find all that's in there. And I mean, we're still doing some training, but literally as we're on like right now on the call, he just uploaded 4 videos.
Nice. And you don't have to, and you priced it for profit and you're good to go. And
Yeah.
he's trained
And
up and
that's,
now you have clarity and now you have more capacity to go get more business.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really fun what from you because you literally just started from like not very much and then you trusted the process, did what was advised, like we're not going to make you do anything. You took action and now you're seeing the results in all the circles. Like it's not just client acquisition, it's not just fulfillment, it's everything. So it's
Yeah.
been cool to watch you. So where are you at now? So like 4 months ago, what, $2,000 in revenue or something like that?
Yeah, so it was literally one $2,000 package. Actually, I
Yeah.
think I priced it. Get my grant card on here. I priced it 1997,
Hmm.
so not quite 2,000.
Nice. Nice. Okay, good. I see what you're doing there.
Yeah. So something about the sevens, and then now we've got five like ongoing monthly retainer clients, and
Cool.
then we're doing little over $10,000. This month will be our first $10,000 month.
Killer. In less than freaking 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. And then what's your anticipation of growth?
Now that like because we went through the training with the video editor, so like that's pretty much duplicated to where like I trust them enough to where it's like, hey, we've got a system like another agency like, hey, like just this is how you should upload the files, client
Yeah.
directory stuff. I
Yeah.
don't want to get in the weeds with all that, but all of it was there for me. Um, so that's duplicated. I think the next step is just doing another talent acquisition funnel, probably doing the VA. And then I also want to get a videographer on board. And one of the things that you mentioned, I believe, with training is just by doing video trainings. So
Mm,
with me doing video trainings for my current editor, we've got a database of about 10 video edits. So whenever we go through the talent acquisition funnel to find our video edit
yeah.
number two, he's already starting with 10 video edits and like everything systematized. So from here, it's still, still in working in the business
Yeah.
a good bit, but
Sure.
we've got an actual framework to follow to where, the back end of the year could get really fun.
Yeah.
And I start to spend a lot more time with my wife and
Mm.
May 17th, 3 kids.
Nice. Wow.
Yep. So
Good for
number
you.
three will be here May 17th.
Yeah. So you have the vision of scaling, the vision of growing, the vision of working yourself out of it. You know how to delegate now. You know how to train people. You know how to create SOPs. You know how to generate some business pretty quickly. Now it's just about scaling up.
Yeah. Another small win in there too. Like our video editor. So he's young guy, about 21, over in the Philippines. And, we've literally working 1 month. One of the things that he was doing is he was literally walking an hour to get his groceries. And then, he was only making enough to be able to take a cab once. So he would walk all the way to get his groceries and get a cab, take it back to his house. And then he recently got plugged into going to church. And it was the same thing. Sundays, uh, do like an hour walk. He's like an hour walk from everything. And then you take a cab back.
Wow.
In our first month of us growing and scaling, we were actually able to. He sent me a picture of a couple cars he was looking at, and he wanted my input on the cars. And a couple days after that, and I always try to keep him updated with new deals and things like that, so he's in the loop. And our first month working, we were able to help him buy his first car, which is
Wow.
another really cool win.
The best win there is. There's no better feeling than watching other people win inside of the company.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what would you say to somebody who's like considering agency you, maybe they're a short form agency like you, maybe they're like trying a bunch of stuff, like and they're debating it, or maybe they'd never heard of us and they're like, what the hell is agency you? Like, what would you say to those type of people?
Nike said it best. Just do
Just
it.
do it. Nice.
But in all seriousness, I knew nothing. And, I know everybody, people who's watching this, like they're going to be in different seasons. Like maybe you've got a few years under your belt, but there's always going to be, I mean, and I hit that lid very fast. Like I literally knew nothing about running a marketing agency.
Hmm.
And, from going from that in October to, first $10,000 month in January by literally just following a play. Um, I mean, literally you're getting the playbook. Like I remember I hated math so bad. Random analogy here. Maybe this will connect. Are
Hmm.
you a math guy?
Sometimes I
Okay.
like it.
I was an English history guy.
Yeah,
I
definitely
hated
not.
math until 11th grade. So 11th grade, I actually started liking math. And the reason why I started liking math is because I realized, oh, math is actually pretty simple as long as you have the formula.
Hmm.
If you have the formula, all you got to do is take the number and plug it in the formula and it produces the result.
Right, right.
And when that clicked, I remember like, dude, I was like straight A. Like I don't think I made anything less. Now college is a different story. I dropped out because of math in college. But in high school, whenever I figured out all you need is a formula and you don't have to be all you gotta do is plug in the numbers and it produces a result. I feel like that's what agency U
Yeah,
is you don't even have to be that like I still don't even think I'm that great. It's
yeah,
just like, hey, Austin's done this. This has already worked. So another thing that gave me was confidence. That's something that I lacked because I was like, oh, like I don't really even know what I'm doing.
sure.
I was able to rely on you and your mentorship and the things that I was able to learn from the group, which is another benefit of Agency U. It was like, oh, well, this worked for Austin, so this will work for me and for my clients. And
Hmm.
then from there, it's, hey, like this is your formula, plug in the numbers, and you can expect the results.
Yeah, dope. Yeah, so copy and paste is what I hear. Yeah, that's really how we're trying to make it is copy and paste as stupid proof as possible so that anybody who comes in can win. So
Yeah.
Jordan, man, thank you for your time. Thank you for all the generous things that you've said. This has been helpful for me to get feedback, and I'm sure whoever's watching it this far got some insights as well. So thank you, man.
Yeah, man.